Hey, what's up everyone and welcome to Daily Code Buffer. In this video, we are going to see how to implement REST APIs with Golang. So what we'll be doing is we'll be creating a complete REST API with the CRUD application, and we'll be also saving all those data into our database. So for that, we'll be using the GoORM. So this will be a complete tutorial for creating the REST APIs and saving the data into database. So let's get started. So yeah, what we'll be doing in our system is, firstly let's go to the browser and see what is Mux. Okay, so if you see over here, if you search for Gorilla Mux over here, so here you can see that this is the router for the Golang. Okay, we will be using for our HTTP request to create our RESTful APIs. So we will be installing this Gorilla Mux over here, and also we'll be installing the GoORM. So if you search for the GoORM over here, here you can see that this is the ORM library for Golang. So we'll be installing this, and also we'll be installing the MySQL connector for it. Okay, MySQL dialect for it, and we'll be using the MySQL database for it. So I have created the one schema for it, that is GoDB over here, and with the help of GoORM only we will be doing the auto migration, that will be like creating the database from the Go application itself, and then we'll be storing the data over it. So what we'll be doing over here is, let's go to the Go path over here. So this is my Go path, C user, shab and go. So this is my Go path. Inside this src folder, there is a github.com, and this is my username, shabir.dwd53. And inside this, I'll create my application over here. So let me just create the application, CRUD REST API. And I'll open this in my VS Code, okay? So this is our application. Now here we'll be creating the Go files and we will build our application. And here in the VS Code, let's open the terminal over here. Now let's go ahead and download the Gorilla Mux and the GoORM over here. Okay, in the starting only we will download and we will use it. Okay, so let's go to the Gorilla Mux over here, and here you can see that there is install over here, and this is the command to install. So just copy the command over here and click enter over here. Okay, hit enter over here. And you can see that you won't get any error, it will be successfully installed. Now let's go ahead and install the GoORM also. Okay, now let's go ahead and install the GoORM MySQL dialect as well. Okay, so here you can see that everything is installed what we need. So we'll be also using the HTTP package, which is the inbuilt in Golang. So now let's close this and let's create the files over here. Now if you want to learn about the Go language, how it works, then I've created the complete Golang tutorial for it. So I'll add that link into the description below, so you can check it out, and you can click over here as well to see the video. Once you go through that video, once you understand everything about Go language, you can continue with this tutorial as well to understand more on the HTTP package and how to create the web applications using Go. So let's go ahead and create the main.go file over here. Okay, I'll just create the main.go file over here, and my main file will be having the package main. And here I'll create the function main over here. Okay, this is my main function. So this is responsible for starting my application. Again, every time I'll remind you to check that video, okay, to understand more on Go language. So now here we will do two things. We will create our routers, we will initialize our routers with the Mux, and we will also initialize our database connection with the database using the GoORM. So let's do those two things over here, okay. So let me just create one method that will initialize the router. I'll just create the method function that will initialize router. Now what I'll do, I'll create the variable R for router. You can use any name over here, and here I'll say mux.new router. You can see that I am getting the package from the github.com Gorilla Mux. So I've not imported any of the package over here. Once I hit enter, once I use this Mux, that package will be imported. You can see that the package is imported, github.com/gorilla/mux, and I'll create the new router from it. So this is the router that we have created. Now we have to define the different APIs that we want to use. So here we'll take the example of a user where we will store the data of a user to our database. So let's go ahead and implement the different routes over here. So we'll just say over here that r.handle function. Okay, inside this handle function we have to provide the route information. So here we will provide that my route should be users. So here you can see that we have just defined the route over here, that is /users. Now we have to define the handler function for it, which function should be called when we hit the /users. So we'll just tell that we want get users over here, and this should be the method type. Okay, here we will pass that this should be get method. So when we call get method on the slash users, we will get the list of users available. Okay, so this is what we have declared. Now let's go ahead and declare this for all our methods. So we'll create for create user, delete user, update user, and get the single user as well. So what I'll do, I'll just say I need users, but I need the ID also over here. I'll pass the ID in my URL, and this will be get user. This will be of type method get. I'll say okay, handler function slash users, and I'll say instead of get users, I'll say create users, and this will be of type post because we'll be creating the user. We'll be passing the data into JSON format. Here we will tell update user with the put method, and we will say delete user with the delete method. Okay, so these are the function declarations that we have provided over here. So these are the handler function. On the call of each functions or each REST APIs, these are the functions that we have to call. Now let's add the IDs also over here. So when we want to update, we will pass the ID like which particular object we want to update, and we will also pass the ID which particular we want to delete. Now once this is done, we have to start the server. Which port we have to start the server, that we have to define over here. And also let's use the log package over here to print the logs. So what I'll do log dot fatal, and inside this I will pass the HTTP dot listen and serve. Here we have to pass the port information. So let's pass the port information. I'll pass at it should run on port 9000, and then we have to pass the router handler. So we have created the router as a mux router, so we'll pass that variable r over here. So this is the initialize router that we have created. Function initialize router, we have created the new router over here, and we have stored the data into our r variable, and then we define the handler functions for it, which are the method types would be, and then we have defined this information that this is the router that we have to serve on port 9000. Now we have to call this initialize router over here. Now what we have to do is we have to define all these particular functions over here, because you can see that there is a compilation error, it won't work. We have to define all these functions, and we have to define the GoRM also. We have to connect to the database also. Okay, so let's go ahead and create the new file over here. We will say user.go, and this is also of package main, and here let's create all those methods over here. Okay, so these are the methods. Let's create the method over here. We'll create the handler methods. Okay, and we'll give the name get users. So this handler methods will take the http.response-writer and the pointer of the request as the input parameter. So these are the different methods. These are the part of net/http package. Let's create all the different methods over here. So let's just copy the name over here. We created get user. Let's create the get user as well. Let's create the create user as well. Then update user, and then the last is delete user. Okay, so these are the handler functions that we have created over here. We have not done anything else. These are the blank functions, so we won't be getting any compilation error for now. Now what we have to do is we have to define the GoRM over here, and we have to define the struct over here. In the other languages we'll be creating class. In Go language we'll be creating the struct to store the different types of data types. So let's create the struct of type user, and inside that user we will define the different properties of a user, which will help us to save that data into our database. So here we'll create the struct. We'll create the struct with type user, and that is struct over here. And here in this struct we will define the different data types over here. I'll say first name, which is string, last name, which is string, email, which is string. Now once we have defined this struct over here, we will be sending the data and receiving the data through JSON. Okay, when we are working with the REST APIs, so we will define what those properties will be when we are sending the data using the JSON. So let's give those information over here. And the backtick, we will say with this JSON it should be of first name. Okay, So rather than passing the data as a first name, when you are passing the data from the JSON, from the response body, then you will be giving the first name over here. Okay, so let's go ahead and add those information for all of it. This will be the last name and this will be the email ID. So our struct is ready. Now we have to convert this struct into our ORM object, ORM model over here. Okay, so that we can use that model to save the data and get the data from the database. Now to convert this particular struct into model, what we have to do is we just have to write GoRM, and you can see that once we use it GoRM, this will be imported in our packages. So you can see that it is imported, right? gorm.io/gorm, and we will say gorm.model. So now this will be treated as the model. So once you add over here gorm.model, you can see that this model is also a struct, and you can see that this will add few of the extra properties. So here you can see that it will add ID, created at, updated at, and deleted at. So this information will be helpful when we are working with the database. So we don't have to create the ID in our user struct that is already available in the model struct itself. So we'll be using that only. Now once this model is created, let's go ahead and initialize the database. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll create one method to initialize the database, and we will enable the auto migration. So it means GoRM will check, our Go application will check with the database if the particular struct that we have defined over here as a model is available in the database or not. If not, it will create the table over here, and if it's already available, it won't create the table. So accordingly it can work. There are a lot of configurations available. You can always go ahead and check those configuration in the official documentation. So let's go ahead and create the method to initialize the database and to enable the auto migration. We'll say function initial migration, and inside this initial migration we will define our database details. Now as I'm using the local database over here, MySQL, I will pass the URL to connect to this database. You can use any of the database. You can use PostgreSQL, you can use SQLite, whatever database you prefer you can use. You have to use the particular driver for it. As I'm using MySQL database, we have installed the MySQL driver for it. So let's go ahead and define those information. What I'll do, I'll create the variables over here. I'll define the variable where db, that is of type pointing to gorm.db. So this is the database variable. Now let's create the variable for error as well. And now let's create the constant variable for our database URL. I'll just say as DNS, and let me just copy the URL for it. So this is my database URL. Root is my username, admin is the password, and it's connecting to TCP 127.0.0.1, and it's running on 3306 port number, and my schema name is GoDB. You can see that my schema name is GoDB over here. Okay, and these are the rest char set information and time informations. So these are the variables that I have declared. Now let's go ahead to initial migration and define the properties. What I'll say, I'll just use db and error over here equals to gorm.open database, and we'll say mysql.open. So our GoRM should open the mysql.open MySQL database, and once you can see that MySQL is added over here, and inside this we'll pass the DNS, and we'll pass the gorm.config information as well. So whatever configuration you want to do, you can add those configuration over here. Now what we'll do, we will check the errors. If error not equals to nil, then just print it fmt.println error.error and raise the panic. Cannot connect to DB. Now here we have connected to database. Now let's go ahead and enable the auto migration. We will say db.automigrate, and here we have to pass the reference to our struct. Okay, so this is the struct over here. So this is the method we just connected to our MySQL database over here, and if there is any error, we print that log and we raise the panic and we enable the auto migrate over here. Now we have to call this auto migration in our main method. So once the routers are initialized, let's call that method as well. Now let's go ahead and use this database, and let's receive all the REST APIs, all the data from the REST APIs, and save to the database. Let's start with the create user. So firstly what we'll be doing is, for this response writer, we will set the content type to application/JSON. Okay, so w.header.set content type to application slash JSON. So this is my content type. Now let's create the variable user of type user, and now let's use the JSON module and let's decode the data that we are getting from the request body itself. Okay, so what we'll be doing, we'll use JSON dot new decoder. So with this new decoder, what we'll be doing is we will be taking the data from the request body. So we'll be doing r dot body over here dot decode to reference of user. So whatever data we are getting from the body of this request, we are decoding to the reference to this particular user struct we have. So all the data we have, that will be converted to this particular struct that we have. Now we have to store the data, and before that you can see that we have used JSON, so it will be added to the import list as well. In this, let's go ahead and save the data. So we will use db dot create method to save the data, and here we will pass the reference of the user. Simple as it. So once the data is saved, let's pass the data back to the browser. So we will say JSON dot new encoder, and we will encode those data to our response writer and then encode the user object. So this will pass the data back. So now let's check it out if it's working or not. So let's open the terminal and let's build the application. With go build, we will build the application, and once it is built, you can see that if you go to our database, there is no tables over here. Okay, you can see that there are no tables over here. Once we run the application, you can see that our CRUD REST API.exe is created over here, executable is created. Now let's run that executable. So our application is started now. Okay, now let's go to Postman and run the application. We'll go to the Postman. Okay, let's create the new request over here. We'll pass http colon localhost colon 9000, that is the port number, slash users. This will be the of type post over here. Let's go to the body. Let's go to raw, type JSON over here. Let's pass the JSON data. First name, last name, and email. We'll add Shabbir, Daudi, and shabbir@gmail.com. So if you go to the application over here, you can see that for the struct we have first name, last name, and email. Okay, make sure the spellings are correct. Okay, let's hit send over here. Okay, I think this is the issue. Let me just use this. First, let's migrate the data and then initialize the router over here. So let's run this application again. Let's clear the console. Let's build the application and let's run it. Let's go back to our SQL, and here you can see that once I refreshed over here, the table is created over here. Okay, so here you can see that once I run this over here, you can see that we just have created first name, last name, and email ID. All the other fields are created over here. ID, created at, updated at, and deleted at. Okay, now let's go to the Postman over here again, and we have used the same API over here, and let's run this again. Okay, and here you can see that once I run it again, we are able to save the data. You are getting the ID and all those information over here. Okay, once I run it again over here, you can see that the data is saved over here. If I go ahead and do it again, it will save the data again. Let's add the new information over here. I'll add Kutub, Daudi, and Kutub over here. Okay, and let's send the data back, and here you can see that I'm getting the new ID over here, and once I refresh the data over here, you can see that I'm getting the two informations over here. So this is working now. Let's close the server. Let's go back and go to the our other methods. Okay, now let's implement this get users method. Okay, we will get all the users available. So we'll just use this particular header information over here. So here what we'll be doing is we'll be getting the list of users available. Okay, so we will create the slice over here. So variable users will say, and that users is of slice of user struct. And to fetch all the data, what we'll be doing is we will just say db dot find, and we will say that reference of users over here. And once we get all the data, we just have to encode it and send back to the server. So we'll just use again this encoder over here, and we will pass users over here. So this is done. Now let's go ahead and create the method to get a particular user as well. So let's go ahead and create that method. We will use the same information over here for the content type header over here, and here we will change this information. Instead of users, we will make it as user, because we will need the one object only. And one thing over here is, for this particular get user method, we will be getting the ID over here, which particular ID that we want to fetch data. So we need to get this from the parameters. So let's get those details. We will take in the params over here from the mux.vars of the request. So from this mux router over here, we are passing the request, and from that we are getting the params over here. So let's find the data. So we are saying db.first, and that is of type reference to user, and we have to pass the ID over here. So we'll say params, and inside this params we'll say we need the ID. Okay, here it should be small u. So once we get the data based on the ID that we are passing over here, from here we'll be getting it over here, and that particular user will be stored over here, and we can again use the new encoder to pass the data back, and here we'll pass the user over here. So now let's check these two methods over here. Let's run this application again. Let's build it. Now let's run this CRUD API.exe. Now let's go back to the Postman over here, and we have already saved the two users over here, so we should get back those two users. So let's change this to get over here, and with the same URL we should get both the requests. So here you can see that we are getting 1 and 2, both the data over here. Now if you want particular data with the same get request, we have to pass the ID. So if I want 2 over here, we should be getting it. Okay, we are getting the second record, and we are also getting the first record over here. So both the methods are working. We have successfully created the 3 methods. Now let's go ahead and implement the update and delete methods. So let me go back to VS Code. Let's close the server. Now let's go to the update method and delete method. Now for the update method, what we'll be doing is we will be doing similar to create method and get method. So for that, what we'll be doing is, whatever the ID that we are passing, 1 or 2 or 3, whatever, we will get the data from the database itself, and we will update with the new values that we are passing in the body of it. So let's go ahead and copy the information from the create itself, from the get itself. Okay, so these all things that we want. Okay, for the update, so the header information, content type should be application JSON. We will be getting the parameters, the user object that we created. We got the value from the database. So now what we'll be doing is, once we get the data from the database, we will update with the new values. So whatever the new values that we got from the body itself of the request, we will pass that information. So what we'll be doing is, so just decode this information. Okay, whatever the data you are getting from the body, just decode that information and update the reference of the same user. So suppose you are getting 3 values, those 3 values will be updated over here. And once we get this, once everything is updated, let's do db.save, and we will give the reference of the user. And once it is saved, let's pass the data back to the browser itself. Okay, so this update method is implemented. Now let's implement the delete method as well. For the delete method, what we'll be doing is, let's do similar to get. We set the header information, we got the parameter, we got the user, and then rather than db.first, we'll do db.delete. What we should delete? We should delete the user reference when parameter ID is whatever that we are passing. And rather than sending this information, we will send the user is deleted successfully. Don't mind the spelling, guys. So this is implemented. Okay, now let's run this again and check it. Okay, so let's run this, go build is successful. Let's run the application CRUD REST API.exe. Now if you see over here, we have 2 records over here. Okay, now let's get back to the Postman over here. We are getting the data. Now let's update the data. Okay. So for the Qutb and Dawoodi, so if you go to the database, Qutb and Dawoodi are of the ID 2. Let's change these values. Okay. So for the second record, we need to change these values. Okay. Rather than Qutb, I'll say Nikhil. I'll say Gupta, and I will give this information as Nikhil over here. Okay, and we will change this get type to put type. So we are changing the user2 with this new values over here. So now when we run this, we should be getting the new data over here. You can see that we are getting the new data, and once we refresh over here, you can see that those data are updated successfully. So this is just a simple update based on the primary key, but there are a lot of things that you can do. Okay, you can check the documentation as well. There are a lot of different ways that you can update the data according to the requirement itself. Now let's run the delete as well. Suppose I want to delete the first record itself. So what I'll do, let's ignore this information. Okay, when we change it to delete, we can remove this as well, and let's change to 1 over here that I want to delete the first record itself over here. So let's hit on send, and here you can see that we are getting the output as the user is deleted successfully. And once I check it again with all the records over here, let me get all the records. Okay, sorry, I need to remove the slash over here, and here you can see that the first record is deleted over here. Okay, I'm getting only one record over here. So but there is one very good thing over here. If you go to the database over here, and once you refresh it over here, yeah, you can see that the data is still there, but we got the date over here at the deleted at. So whenever you are using the delete method, it will do a soft delete, and it will mark that data as deleted with the help of this deleted at column over here. So when you are using any of the other methods as well, like get method, first method, then also with the help of GoRM, it will always check that whenever there is a null over here, or whenever there is no date over here at deleted at, those data only will be fetched and you will be seeing those data. So this way you can implement the CRUD application with the database with the help of ORM in the Go language. So I hope you have found this video interesting, and if you want me to implement any of the topics, then let me know in the description below. I will surely make a video of it either in the Go language or in the Java or any of the language. And also if you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for the upcoming videos. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram with the same daily code buffer. And till then, happy coding. Bye bye.